Clapping us in the old-fashioned way, Alex. I've got my other stuff packed away already. Folks, welcome to the Rebel's Edge. I am Jon Najarian. Our special guest today is indeed Alex Mascioli, the chairman and founder of Trade the Chain. And Alex took me down here on his plane to an undisclosed crypto location in the Caribbean. But if you look at our faces and you wonder, why are they so brown or sunburned, whichever, that's one of the reasons. Alex, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me, John. Pleasure.
By the way, our mutual friend, Mark Lopresti, it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Mark.
Oh, Mark, keep it up, man. Whatever you're doing, you're looking good. And we enjoy many more years of friendship with you.
We hope so. All right, folks. Alex is a virgin on this program, but I know he's ready for it because he does videos every day over at Trade the Chain. So at Market Rebellion, we're proud to call Alex a friend of the firm. And on the Rebel's Edge, we're saying thank you for sitting in for Pete, who's traveling today, Alex.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to try to fill his shoes. You and your brother are very big and large in space. So I'm just here to be arm candy for you.
You know what they say, Alex, big shoes, big gloves. Welcome, though, to the show, Alex. Let's talk a little bit about Macro Minute. So this is where we try to condense things down that others might take all day explaining to you. We're going to try to let you know really quick. Hey, it's mega cap time, folks. We had some of them last week. It continues this week because we got PayPal, we've got Apple, we've got Amazon. So that's my part of the Macro Minute, Alex. That, and we've got a jobs report at the end of the week that's kind of important.
Yeah, the jobs report is really, you know, a lot of folks who see me know that I'm more on the crypto side. But the jobs report is important to our side of the business. Well, we're going to keep an eye out for that, you know, and as far as mega cap techs, gotta love them. A lot of beating the street going on. So,
yep, we're pretty bullish on most of those folks. And I am more bullish on Apple than PayPal, for instance, at this point. But they're several days away before we actually get to either of those two earnings. All right, let's talk fantastic futures.
Fantastic futures.
We didn't even warn Alex that that was coming, folks. So if he looks a little scared, that's why.
That was awesome.
Crude oil, folks, hitting its highest level since April of this year. The last time crude sustained over $80 a barrel, where it is right now, we were at $4.67 a gallon. Right now, we're about $4.18 a gallon countrywide, and I think it's going higher, Alex.
Yeah, agreed. You know, I think it's going higher as well. As you like to know, I've gambled over the last couple of years trading in and out of UCO. I love the double levered product that is over there. I will say, Dr. J, one of the things I wanted to get your comment on is JP Morgan is now saying that inventories are going to play a bigger role in determining oil prices than the US dollar because of the whole Russia situation and the acceleration of oil on the dark side. Is that a phenomenal turn of events for you?
It's not going to be phenomenal for me, but luckily, where Alex and I live most of the time in Puerto Rico, we don't have nearly the taxes that the rest of the country has. So believe it or not, even though they sell it in liters, we're cheaper, and everything's imported. It's cheaper than much of the United States. So, but I think this will be one more bit of inflation that'll be kind of tough for politicians to deal with. All right, let's talk about stocks, Alex, and we're going to kick it off with SOFI. SOFI up 5%, then 10%, then 12%. Now it's up 18% on the day. The numbers were phenomenal, and I just wanted to say that we had unusual activity in this one, Alex. Unusual activity for us means, of course, somebody was buying a lot of upside calls. Well, they were buying the 950 calls, which were basically the at-the-money call. when the stock went to 11.30 or wherever it went to today, those calls became worth a lot of money. So that is a BOGO. You'll be seeing that, folks, because whenever we have a big winner like this, we put it out there and we say, hey, do you want a BOGO? Buy one, get one, pay once and get 2 months for the price of one. Well, we're doing that right now for SOFI because we killed it. 380%, I think, Alex.
Yeah, and there was no reason it shouldn't have killed it. I think total deposits on the platform were about 7.3 billion the end of last year. Now they're up to over 12 billion. So that's a huge gain in user deposits going onto the platform. And not only that, they're a chartered bank. So they survived the regional banking crisis that went on, and they're taking over their segment and making it theirs.
151 million shares changing hands today, folks. And the high of the day was $11.70, which means, of course, that those calls were worth at least $2.20 at that time. Bang. All right, let's talk about this, Alex. We've got Yellow, which is, of course, a trucking company. And sadly, these guys tried to do a roll-up strategy, which means, of course, folks, that they'd buy a competitor and have, maybe a third more volume coming through, and then they bought another competitor and another, and you'd think that eventually it would drop more profits to the bottom line. That hasn't worked, and they were the cheapest shipper out there. So this is another inflationary thing, because now if they're totally out of the market, I think they'll reorganize. But if they're totally out of the market, it means that there'll be higher costs of shipping, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of numbers that really make me think twice about this is 21 million in revenue last year, 1.3 billion in debt, and guess what? 730 million, nearly 730 million of that debt is owed to the U.S. government for pandemic loans. It's crazy how far and how quickly this sunk.
Yeah, it's not going to be good, folks, and obviously they couldn't come to an agreement with the workers, the Teamsters, that I think they handled like a 2/3, 20,000 of the 30,000 workers were Teamsters. That's not me blaming them, folks. I'm just pointing out that the Teamsters and Yellow couldn't come to an agreement. So yesterday they sent out a letter telling the Teamsters, hey, we're shutting down. Now, we don't know yet if that's liquidation or reorg. I suspect it'll be reorg, but that'll depend on financing, debt financing, and all that. All right, Alex, go ahead.
No, I to close that one up, I believe that's a total of 30,000 U.S. jobs that are on the line. So very sad situation indeed.
Yeah, you got to think that they'll find jobs with some of the other trucking companies. But yeah, that's one that does hurt if indeed a majority of those folks don't get employment pretty quick. That'll show up in the next jobs report, not this one on Friday. All right, Archer. This is a company that makes something called EVital, which are electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. It's up huge today because they got a $142 million contract with the Department of Defense for basically bringing them these, if you will, electric helicopters, vertical takeoff and landing, but they're electric. They're not gasoline powered. And the Air Force is experimenting with this one, Alex, and it's driving the stock like crazy.
I don't know much about Archer except for this technology. We all know that you like anything that's EV to see if it takes off, including cars. But I will say shareholders, they hung under their handlebars for this one. The stock did have dips, a lot of people moaning about insider sales, but I think they've been vindicated.
It looks like this one will be one of the big winners in a relatively small defense contract, folks, because 142 million. We've all seen the multi-billion-dollar contracts from, into Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and a host of the other defense contractors. All right, let's focus just for a second, Alex, on another one where we had unusual activity. Bang, Wayfair, symbol W. You look at Wayfair, and this is a company that sells a lot of home goods, I'd say primarily, Alex, symbol W. It traded an awful lot of stock today, and they don't have earnings till the 10th, I think, of August. But today they got a big Piper Sandler upgrade, and for that reason, it's traded almost 4 million shares in the first 3 hours of trading today.
Analysts are saying that the home decor market is showing signs of stabilization. If any of you guys have been on Wayfair, you can buy anything. I think it's thousands of items at this point, but a lot of people loving it, and they're embracing the newfound bump that home decor is getting in this segment.
It's a very cool stock, and certainly one that benefited a lot during the pandemic, folks. Again, earnings are the 10th, and we did have that unusual activity I spoke of. They were buying a lot of upside calls at the 75 strike, and they'll get a chance to, just like I did, roll up. When I roll up, that means like if I owned the 75s and I haven't seen liquidation in those, I roll up to like the 77.50s or the 80s, that kind of thing. I'm rolling up and staying with the trade because I think they wanted it all the way through earnings. At least that was my read. All right. Yeah. Alex loves sports, folks. He used to be an IndyCar driver. I mean, Alex, how many years were you on the circuit?
Almost just under 2 decades. I'm an old man at this point. But what I like more than sports is these dollar figures you're about to throw out.
Yeah, well, he's talking about Danielle Hunter, folks. And Danielle was a big pass rushing stud for the Minnesota Vikings. So we would be remiss on a day when Pete's not here if we didn't talk about him signing a contract that could be worth up to $20 million. Well, that's according to the NFL Network. Now, that's great. He had showed up to training camp, but he wasn't participating. Now he's going to participate. So that's a big bullish thing. But Alex, take a look at those numbers for the players that he's in the same class with this huge contract.
That's crazy how these numbers have gone up. And the only thing I can say is I'm sure they're sad they can't live where we live.
Steelers edge rusher TJ Watt, JJ Watt's brother, $28 million, folks. Chargers, Joey Bosa from Ohio State, $27 million. And the Browns edge rusher, Myles Garrett, $25 million. So, yeah, these guys are getting paid and getting paid. And
John,
I applaud them. I applaud them.
Let me ask you this. If you were signing as an ex-football player, if you were signing one of these contracts today and you're talking about these kind of dollar signs, what's the one thing that you like so much would be the first thing you buy?
Berkshire Hathaway. I would diversify, and I would go with one of the smartest investors out there. There's a lot of hedge funds I'd love to go into, Alex, but we both know that many of them are closed, like our friend Ken Griffiths over at Citadel. I don't know if you can get fresh money into there, but I'd buy some SPY, and I definitely own some Apple. So hopefully Joey Bosa, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett are listening. And if they need more advice, come on over to Market Rebellion, guys. All right. How about this one, Alex? Pete and I have been talking about this for a while because we met the owner, one of the primary owners, not the owner, one of the owners of the Reds, Mr. Wyatt. And Jack Wyatt is a friend of the show, as well as a good guy that has entertained Mark Lepresti and many of us at either conferences or at the stadium. Now, his Reds beat the Dodgers 9-0 yesterday. And that guy that I can't get enough of, you know, Pete's all about Ohtani, and I'm all about this guy, Ellie De La Cruz. And this guy's one of the fastest guys in baseball. He steals bases like crazy. He's hitting phenomenally well for a rookie. And my gosh, I think his slugging percentage is up there around 473. Gives you an idea how big this guy is for the Reds. But they're on a roll, Alex.
Listen, I think the only reason you're flexing on this is because your brother Pete's not here today. I know that on Friday he was talking about Ohtani and how great he was. So you're getting away with something right now.
That's right. Well, Pete will be back tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll flex on Ohtani, as he should. because Pete was early on the bandwagon there. He wasn't a late bandwagon jumper. Alex, can't say enough thank yous to you for joining Jared and I. Jared, of course, is the gentleman handling all the production folks. But there he goes. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Alex Mascioli, the CEO and founder of Trade the Chain. And we hope you join us tomorrow, folks, 1 p.m. Eastern Time.